You reach for them. A question, a touch, can we talk? And you feel them step back. Not far, just enough. So you reach again, a little more, and they step back again, a little more. By the end of the evening, one of you is following and one of you is somewhere behind a closed door, and neither of you meant for it to go this way. The pattern, the reach, the retreat and reach again, is one of the most common loops I come across in relationships. Today, we're going to slow it right down and look at what's actually happening inside it. If any of that sounds familiar, you're not broken. You're not too much. Your nervous system may be doing exactly what it learned to do long before this relationship began. I'm Dr. Narelle Duncan, a clinical psychologist, drawing on 30 years of helping people understand themselves. This is Steady and Connected. Each episode, I'll bring you the science, the tools, and the clarity to understand what may be happening when anxiety shows up in love and what you might do with that understanding. Let's get steady and connected. In the first few episodes, we built the foundations, the attachment template, the anxious pattern, the nervous system, and the conversation. Today, we take all of that into the space between two people. Because a lot of relational anxiety may not live inside one person at all. It can live in a loop that two nervous systems build together. One that we call, in shorthand, pursue and withdraw. We're going to look at how the loop forms, why it can feel like it's your fault when it might be no one's fault, and one small place you can step out of it. Let's name it plainly. In a lot of relationships, when stress rises, two people start to pull in opposite directions. One person turns toward. They reach for contact, for talking it through, for reassurance that the connection is okay. That's the pursue side. If you've listened this far, you may recognise it as the anxious pattern, doing what it does under threat, closing the gap. The other person turns away. They go quiet. They need space. They pull back to settle themselves down. That's the withdrawal side. From the outside, it can look like not caring. From the inside, it may be the opposite, a system that soothes itself by creating distance. The way the anxious system soothes itself by creating closeness. Here's the part that matters. Each reaction makes the other reaction stronger. The reach reads as pressure to the one withdrawing, so they step back further. The step back reads as danger to the one pursuing, so they reach harder, round and round. That's the loop. Two people, each doing the thing that calms their own system, and each thing landing on the other as the very thing that alarms theirs. Notice what this means. There may be no one to blame in it. There's a pattern with two halves feeding itself. Most of us have a side we tend to take when things heat up. Let me offer some of what each side can look like and notice which one lands. If you tend to pursue, when distance opens up, you might feel a pull to close it quickly, to send the follow-up message, to ask, "Are we okay?" To keep talking until something feels resolved. Silence can feel unbearable. Waiting can feel like danger, and stepping back may feel almost impossible because to your system, stepping back is the opposite of safety. If you tend to withdraw, when things get intense, you might feel a pull to get out, to go quiet, to end the conversation, to physically leave the room and settle down alone. The reaching can feel like too much coming at you at once, and distance can feel like the only way to think. And here's something worth holding gently. You might not always take the same side. A person can pursue with one partner and withdraw with another, or pursue at the start of a conversation and withdraw once it tips past a certain point. The side isn't your identity. It's the reaction your system reaches for when it's alarmed. If you're the one listening to this podcast, there's a fair chance you know the pursue side well, and you may be living with someone who knows the withdraw side just as well. Each of you certain the other one is the problem. Why does this loop hold on so tightly? 2 reasons worth knowing. The first is that each side gets a small reward. When the pursuer finally gets contact, that's a moment of relief. When the withdrawer finally gets space, there's a moment of relief too. Each system learns that its reaction works for a moment and does it again next time. The loop trains itself. The second is that the 2 reactions are perfectly shaped to keep each other going. Reaching is exactly what makes a withdrawer want more distance. Distance is exactly what makes a pursuer want more contact. If you designed a machine to keep 2 people alarmed, this is the machine you'd build. No one actually designed it. It simply grew long before this relationship began. 2 old patterns now meeting. This is why willpower alone rarely settles it. You can promise yourself you won't send the 3rd message, and the promise can hold right up until your system reads distance as danger. And then the old reaction fires because it has always briefly worked. If you'd like to see which side of a loop like this your own system tends to reach for, that's part of what the free quiz at steadyandconnected.com.au looks at. It's for self-reflection, not a clinical assessment, and your results come to your inbox with a short series that goes deeper on what they mean for you. Here's where people get hurt inside this loop. The pursuer, from the outside, can look controlling or needy or unable to let anything go. From the inside, there's a person trying to stay connected to someone they can feel slipping away. The withdrawer, from the outside, can look cold or dismissive or like they don't care. From the inside, they may be a person so flooded that going quiet is the only way they know to stay in the room at all. 2 people, each reading the other's protection as an attack. Each one's most misread moment is exactly when they're working hardest to cope. So, a lot of this work is simply correcting the misread on both sides, seeing the reach for what it is and seeing the retreat for what it is. Neither one is the enemy. They're 2 halves of a loop that neither person chose consciously. Let's go back to that evening, the reach, the retreat, the closed door. Walk it through gently. Your reaction, the question, the reaching toward, the pull to resolve it quickly. Their reaction, the step back, the quiet, the space they took to settle. Your story, they don't care, they're shutting me out. arriving fast ahead of the evidence. And underneath it, most likely, their story too. It's all too much. I can't do this right now. Just as fast, just as sure. Now, you can see it for what it might be, not proof that the relationship is failing, and not proof that either of you is the problem. Two systems, each protecting itself, in a loop that got louder the longer it ran. That's not a broken couple. That's a pattern with two halves doing what it learned to do long before this relationship began. Here's the hopeful part, and it's a real one. A loop with two halves can be changed by either half. You don't need your partner to move first. You don't need them to read a book or take a quiz or agree with a word of this, because the loop only keeps going while both of you react to each other's cues. The moment a reaction changes to a response, even slightly, even once, the loop loosens a little of its momentum. We'll explore reactions and responses in another episode. So that doesn't mean the whole thing shifts overnight. It means the loop is not a fixed feature of your relationship. It's a pattern that runs on two inputs, and you are in charge of one of them. Recognition first. You can't step out of a loop you can't see. And once you can see your own move as a reaction, based on an alarm system that makes quick judgments that may or may not be true, a small door opens. So here's the one thing for this week. Just one. We're building on the naming skill from episode 2. The next time you feel the loop start, the distance opening, the pull to close it or to flee it, see if you can name your own reaction before you make it, quietly, to yourself. This is my reaction. This is the one thing my system does when it's alarmed. You don't have to change the reaction. You don't have to do the opposite or say the perfect thing or fix the evening. Just catch your own half of the loop and name it, one beat before it runs. That single beat of naming is where the door is, not because it stops the feeling, it may not, because it turns an automatic reaction into something you can see. And a reaction you can see is something you can, eventually, shift to a response. If you'd like a quiet companion for this, I've made you a one-page guide called the Cycle Map. A simple way to trace one recent moment, your reaction, their reaction, the story, and the small exit you might take next time. It's at go.steadyandconnected.com.au/cycle. Free and yours to keep. Next time, we look closely at one of the pursuer's most familiar reactions, reaching for reassurance. Why it can feel so good in the moment, why the relief may not last the hour, and what a nervous system is actually asking for when it reaches. If you've taken the free quiz at steadyandconnected.com.au, your results already point toward which of these moments might be hardest for you. If you haven't, that's a good place to start. That's everything for this episode. If today resonated, follow Steady and Connected wherever you listen, so the next episode lands automatically. And if someone came to mind while you were listening, share it with them. If today's conversation has brought up anything you need support with, please reach out. Lifeline is available 24/7 on 13 11 14. And if you'd like to explore working with me individually, I offer telehealth sessions at getlifedirection.com. I'm Dr. Narelle Duncan. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next episode.